Hi, and welcome to the Pucking Rights podcast. I'm Q. My favorite teams are the Jets and the Sabres, and I'm just here to have a good time. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kat. I'm from Ontario, Canada. My favorite teams are Montreal and Colorado, and I am also slightly obsessed with the NCAA, but gonna ignore that. And I'm just here because I have nothing better than do, and this seems fun.
Hi, I'm Ari. I'm from California. My favorite teams are the Ducks, the Leaves, and the Canes. And I'm just here to have fun. This seems so exciting.
It is so exciting. Wow. First episode. So I guess then, the I should explain kind of what this podcast is going to be about. It's basically obviously going to be a hockey related podcast, and really it's going to be about um, us and our kind of thoughts on the hockey world and what's kind of going on there, as well as um, with any other kind of topics that kind of relate to hockey and just things in general that we want to talk about. So, in terms of that, um, I guess the first thing we should talk about is Tampa winning the cup. What are your guys' thoughts on it?
I'm very sad.
Yeah, yeah, same. I was really rooting for Montreal there. Um, yeah, it was
But
very
it's also
surprising.
with Montreal being the team it was during the regular season, it's also I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah,
But also we lost. So
yeah. Also, we lost. I really thought they were gonna do it. Like they seemed on such a Cinderella run that I really thought they were gonna get past Tampa. And did anyone really want Tampa to win back to back? Other than their
no.
fans, no one really wanted them to win. There was literally no one who was yeah, I'm gonna choose the juggernaut over the underdog. Yeah.
I feel like nobody wants a good team to win. Like Tampa, just they're too good. It's like Pittsburgh, right? Like when Pittsburgh was good, it's just like nobody outside of Pittsburgh fans like them.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of feel like fans are kind of because of the salary cap situation with them being 18 million over the cap, they were the clear villains in this entire narrative. No one wanted them to win because the NHL that way the NHL really didn't blame them for it for being that much over the cap. And so when they won, it was just kind of well, there's an asterisk next to your win again.
No, there are multiple asterisks. There's COVID, and then not normal regular season, and then messed up divisions, and then also you're $18 million over the cap.
And the fact that, have you seen the t-shirts that they were wearing at the boat parade?
That's
That
what I want to talk about. I'm like, what is that? That's.
I know, same. It was just it was so annoying to me because it's yes, embrace the narrative that you're the villain, but literally everyone hates you now. And no one is
Yeah.
gonna want to make a trade with you, so you just suffer in your cap depression.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, they have the expansion draft, so they're probably gonna lose a couple million from that.
Yeah, I guess, but they have I don't know if you've looked at their team, but almost everyone on the team has a no trade clause or a no move clause.
That
So
is.
they literally can't be trading. They put one of their guys who was making 5 million on waivers last year twice, and no one took him because no one had the money. And so
Yeah.
they're just going to be sitting in their cap hell, I guess, which deservedly. Kind of deservedly.
But also, apparently, Kucherov is having surgery or something this summer again. So
Oh yeah, so it wasn't Kucherov, it was Hedman. It was another one of their good players. So if they do the same thing again this year, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so mad. The NHL has to fix that. They
yeah, and Chicago did it in 2015, I think, as well.
yeah, Yeah, when Patrick Kane broke his collarbone, right? But like
Yeah.
also it's kind of not the same because he didn't sit out like the whole season. He sat out like maybe less than half of it. Like it's
Yeah.
not the same as sitting out the whole season and not coming back like the last month, even though you can. Like it's
Yeah, it's like I think the NHL needs to fix like the no salary cap during the playoffs thing.
yeah, yeah, or like something, like do something to make sure like this doesn't happen again. Because like when they investigated it, Gary Bettman, like
Mhm.
he was like, yeah, it's fine, it's cool. Like no, it's not.
Like Kucherov was skating with the team for like a month. Like you're skating with the team for a month. I think you can play. I don't think you're still on LTIR. Like
Yeah, and he wasn't even, I don't think he was even wearing a non-contact jersey for like most of it, right? Like so what was he doing? He was just sitting there on LTIR for like no reason. Yeah, with it.
like I think people are arguing that like Tampa made it to the playoffs without Kucherov, so like they kind of have like
But they were in a bad division.
yeah
Like, they were in a good division.
yeah.
Like
I feel like you had like the East Division with like Pittsburgh and New York, and then every other division was just like you had the what was it called? I don't remember what the name was, but like you have like Vegas, Colorado, and then just like everyone else in
and
one
everyone,
division.
literally everyone else. Like the divisions this year were, yeah, like
Yeah.
even like regularly you obviously like have your like stronger divisions and your weaker divisions,
Yeah,
but
I
this
think
year
it's
it just
even
felt
that.
so unproportional. Like there was the
Yeah.
Atlantic where everyone but Buffalo was like good, pretty much. Buffalo and the
And New
Devils.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had the other divisions where it was like, yeah, like two teams are good and then everyone else is just trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
And then like the North is like, what is even going on there? It's like you've got Montreal starting the season extremely well, and then they're just like, we don't feel like playing hockey anymore. And then you've got Edmonton and Calgary that are like not so good start, but then like halfway through the season they're like, we're gonna play well again. And then the Sens are just like the Sens, they kind of do.
they were good in the second half of the season. Like they
Yeah,
they lost like 20 straight. They lost like 10 straight at one
yeah,
point and then they were just like good for the rest of the season.
yeah. And it's like, what even is the North Division anymore?
Yeah, like I feel like we were all like, "Oh yeah, the North Division's going to be so good." When really it was a bunch of mediocre teams fighting against each other for to win.
I know.
Like even Toronto, like they showed how mediocre they were in the playoffs.
No, that was funny. That was so funny. It's like every like all of like the Leaf fans on Twitter, they're all like, "We're finally gonna win a playoff series," and then
No.
5'7" kid from Wisconsin comes in and is like, "Nope."
No. How about no? Like I honestly before the season, I was like a decent Leafs fan, like, but like this year, just I don't know what it was, but like I think it was the media that just kind of made me like hate them. Like it was so bad. Like I
I
every
don't
time I saw their faces, I was like, ugh, can you please get off my screen? I don't want to
like
be
shut
watching.
up. We don't care anymore.
We don't care about how you think you're gonna win the North Division. Like you won it in the regular season, but like that collapse against Montreal was like historic. It was the funniest thing, and I knew immediately when they got it to Game 7. I was like, yeah, they're
Yeah,
winning. There's no way.
yeah. No, it's like when Suzuki scored in Game 5 to win. I was like, oh, well, the Leafs are actually they're gonna actually like
The
blow
thing is,
this.
they came back in both games, which is really weird, but they still couldn't
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it
yeah.
done.
Like the first game, they came back from like 2-0 or like 3-0 down, and then we got to overtime, and they were like dominating the overtime, and then
Yeah.
like I think Galchenyuk, former Montreal Canadian, like gave the puck away, and then you got like Caulfield,
You got Caulfield
Cole
and Suzuki
Caulfield.
barreling down on you. What's Jack Campbell supposed to do? What is he
Like,
supposed to
what is he
do?
supposed to do? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just like this year made me really hate like most of the other Canadian teams for like no reason until like obviously like the Habs started being better in the playoffs, and then I was like, okay, yeah, they're
Exactly, it's
actually pretty
weird
cool.
because like I grew up in Ottawa, and so like when I was growing up, like the Habs and the Sens were like kind of like the same level. So like whenever the Sens would beat the Habs, like all of like my friends who are all Sens fans would just like rub it in my face.
Oh,
And that made me like really dislike the Sens. And then the Sens were like, we're gonna get Norris and Stutzel and like all of these other really good young players that you really like. And then now I'm a Sens fan.
now I'm a Sens fan. Like low key, kind of though. They have cheap tickets, so maybe I'll drive down
But
from
also,
Toronto.
like, their owner sucks. And
Y'all
why?
just hired Pierre Maguire too, which is like
No, the rink is in like the middle of nowhere. It's like the closest like suburb to the rink is like a half-hour drive. It's
a yeah. Poor Sens, you know. Hopefully they'll be good someday when they sell the team. When they sell the team back to the NHL eventually.
no. I think my friend made a presentation at the beginning of the year about like, will the Sens be good or not? And at the end of the presentation, the first thing I said was like, they might have a lot of young players, but their owner refuses to spend any money, so they're not going to be able to keep them.
Literally, the reason why I think Brady Tkachuk doesn't have a contract right now. Like, literally, just because they don't want to pay him. Which, like, okay.
And then they have to pay, like, Norris soon, and Batherson, and then they have to pay Stutzel, and they're probably going to have to pay Pinto a whole lot of money, and, like, also, what is their goaltending situation right now?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, like, yeah, I don't know. But, like, speaking about that, like, in terms of, like, early predictions you guys have for, like, next year, like, what are your guys's, I don't know how I would describe it, like, do you guys have teams that you guys already think will make the playoffs or like will be really bad next year? Please don't talk about the Sabres. They make me so sad. Are they drafting Owen Power #1? I don't know. They seem to not like him as much as everyone else likes him, which worries me. But yeah, what are you guys' predictions for next year? Like playoffs, like
The Atlantic is going to be a mess.
Sorry?
The Atlantic Division is going to be...
Oh, it's gonna be awful. Everyone's just gonna be beating up on Buffalo all year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, and then, like, the race for the playoffs there is actually gonna be interesting, because you got Boston and Tampa up, like, pretty much locks, and then maybe the Leafs will make it. Maybe.
I don't even know the Habs will make it, because, like...
Yeah, and then you got the Habs and Florida and,
Florida
I guess maybe even the Sens just like battling it out in there for like the last spot.
Yeah. Oh, you got Columbus, and like the wild card race is gonna be.
Yeah, the wild card race is gonna be intense. Meanwhile, there's the Pacific, which is like
you've got the Pacific, and then you've got Colorado.
You got Vegas. Wait, no, Colorado's in the Central. It's Vegas. It's even worse. It's even worse than this year. You got Vegas, Seattle. The 3 California teams.
None of the California teams will make it to the playoffs. Watch.
And then you got Vancouver, Edmonton, and Calgary. And Vancouver and Calgary were both horrible this year. So it's literally just Vegas and Edmonton at the top, and then everyone else. Seattle might be. Apparently, people are predicting Seattle to make the playoffs, even though they have literally 0 players right now.
No,
they have one guy.
They have the one guy.
The one junior player that they signed who made like 1 appearance and then did not show his face ever again.
Yeah. I think it was probably just like a mandatory media appearance, though.
Yeah, that makes sense. But like,
but also,
if Seattle doesn't make it, I'll be genuinely surprised. Like, who else in that division is making it? I'm so sorry.
The thing with Seattle is like every team is so deep now that it's like
Yeah, that's true. And Vancouver could make a comeback. Maybe like Calgary's a mess right now though. Apparently they're talking about extending Gaudreau, and I'm like, don't you guys hate him? Doesn't everyone hate him in Calgary?
I stopped keeping up with the Calgary drama, I think, like, halfway through this season.
Yeah, it was just too much.
I really do dislike Calgary now after, like, the playoff race we had with them. I think we played them, like, 5 times in the last, like, 3 weeks of the season, and it was absolute torture. We lost, like, we lost pretty much every single game against them. It was not fun.
At least you didn't lose, like, your last 10 games, like the Jets did, going into the playoffs. Everyone thought they'd get swept, and they did get swept, but at least it was in the second round.
Yeah, at least it was in the second round. They beat Edmonton.
At least it was.
Although McDavid and Draisaitl drew a combined 0 penalties in that series, which is
okay. Like, even I can, like, as a Jets fan, I can admit that's probably unrealistic. The Jets don't play like. I wouldn't say they play dirtier than any other team. They play probably about as dirty as every other team. But, like, the fact I swear, like, he should have been tripped at least. He should have drawn tripping penalties, like, at least a couple times.
At least once a period.
Yeah.
Like tripping, slashing, cooking.
Once a game, even, like.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, considering the amount of penalties. Ari, I'm so sorry. We're just dunking on the California team.
No, we're bad. Like, I'll accept
I mean, like, at least, like, with Anaheim and LA, it's like, at least they have, like, a good future.
Not if LA trades for Jack Eichel, okay? I am propagating the idea that either LA or Anaheim will trade for Jack Eichel, and in return, I will either receive Alex Turcotte or Jamie Drysdale, and that would make me happy. That would make me so happy. If we got trash bag Zegras, I don't know how I'd feel about that. I don't.
I think my dilemma with Buffalo is that, like, I have faith in them,
but they always let you down.
I have faith in them every year, right? Like, every year, I look at, like, their roster, and I look at, like, the young players they have, and I'm like, they have to do better, right? Like, they have to be better. And then they're not.
They just never are. They just never are as good as people think they should be, and it makes me really sad. Dylan Cousins is going to be the first line center next year. Like, this is not okay. If we have Trevor Zegras on his wing, I don't.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna be not a Buffalo fan next year if that actually ends up happening. Like, if Dylan ends up on the same line as the guy who trashed his name during World Juniors, I am going to cry. Like, I'm not joking, I think I'm gonna cry. Like,
I don't know, I find it really funny. But with Buffalo is like, I'm like, okay, well, they have, like, a good coach. And Granato coached at Wisconsin, so I'm a Wisconsin fan, so maybe I'm slightly biased.
Yeah, you can watch next year for the 3 wins they're gonna get.
But, like, I feel like Buffalo wasn't that bad once Granato got there, like.
They were slightly better than the trash that they were before.
Yeah, like, Granato's a good coach. I have faith in him, but I don't have faith in anyone else.
Yeah. I mean, speaking on Eichel, in terms of, like, other trade talk, like, I know Duncan Keith just got traded to the Oilers with, like, what people considered to be, like, a really bad deal. I don't know, like, you guys, from, like, an outside perspective, what did you guys think of it?
I feel like, so they traded Keith and then this prospect that I know nothing about for Jones and a 2022 conditional third.
Yeah.
I feel like with Jones, it's kind of like, I feel like it makes sense in them getting him, kind of like with their, like, pretty young rebuilding decor, like with Boquist and, like, Ian Mitchell and who else is there? Baudin.
Yeah.
I also don't watch Chicago that often, so I don't know.
Well, I would say, like, the thing that surprised me the most probably was that Chicago didn't retain any salary. Like, like, that was so weird to me, like, that they just decided not to pay, because, like, in reality, like, Chicago only had, like, a certain number of teams that he's like, yeah, I'll go to this team, right? Like, I'll go to either, like, Vancouver, Seattle, Edmonton, or Calgary. Like, he was, like, adamant that you can only trade me to, like, 4 teams, or else I won't waive my no move.
Yeah.
And it's so weird to me that Edmonton didn't, like, use that to their advantage to try and get, like, a better trade, or at least retain salary or something. Like,
like Edmonton's already paying like Draisaitl and McDavid a whole bunch of money.
yeah. And then they have to pay Tyson Barrie too, or like let him walk, I guess. But like, yeah, it's weird. I found it a bad trade. My Oilers like loving friends have said it's an okay trade, but I also get the sense that they don't like Caleb Jones that much. So
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, apparently Chicago is also in on a Seth Jones trade, so I guess they're just collecting all the Joneses. 1, 2, 3.
I can't wait to see like the name plate. It's gonna be like Jones.
Yeah, S Jones, C Jones. Yeah,
it's gonna be like when the U.S. had both the Hughes brothers on the World Championships. It's like Hughes.
Oh my God, I don't know if you guys know, but at U18s, you know Jack Hughes, born in 2003,
Yes,
like the young Jack Hughes, right?
Yeah.
So even though Luke didn't play in the tournament because he was injured, they didn't fix his jersey, so it said J. Hughes on it still, even though there were no other Hugheses on the team. So they just didn't fix his jersey.
And it's hilarious because like if you watch like the NTDP did like Sunday sit downs during like the beginning of quarantine, and it's hilarious because you got Jack Hughes born in 2003 playing with Jack Hughes born in 2001's younger brother.
Oh, that's so. Imagine playing with someone who has the same name as your older brother. Like, that's so weird. Like, and they probably
know each other as well.
Yeah, and they probably had like the same name because they went to the NTDP.
No. The 03 Jack Hughes. I think his teammates call him by his first name. They call him Jack.
Jack.
It's Jack. I've heard them call him Jacko. Just like that's.
Oh, okay. And then Luke is I assume he's Hughesy, probably some variation of that.
I think it's Hughesy.
Yeah.
I think PK Subban thought of like a really funny nickname for him.
The one for Jack.
His brothers all have terrible nicknames, to be honest. Like,
yeah, it's pretty bad. Like, at least the Canadian boys, like, it makes sense. It kind of makes sense for most of them. But then they're like, yeah, then there are the bad ones.
The American nicknames are so weird, especially because like the NTDP guys, they have like all of their inside jokes.
Yeah.
And they just like use those as nicknames, and like I'm just like, what are you saying? What?
Like,
the Anaheim Ducks literally just add a Y to all of their names, and then that's their nickname, and it's like, okay, we'll take it.
I hate him, no. I like all of the fans, like Nick Suzuki, like all of the fans call him Zeus. But then like the Habs, they call him Susie. Like I've heard.
Whoa!
Like I know Caleb Fleury calls him Zooks, but like I've heard like the Habs coaching staff and like some of the older guys call him Susie, and I'm just like,
whoa! Okay, wait, but that makes no sense because his younger brother is also Zooks, so it should be the same.
It's weird.
Well, I mean, Cole kind of has a boring nickname. Everyone calls him Coley. Yeah, like
it's Coley. It's been Coley since he was at the NTDP.
Yeah. Like that, I feel like that's kind of like a boring one. I feel like
yeah. I feel like most hockey nicknames are boring though.
Yeah, I mean everyone calls Bo and Byron Bo. I didn't remember his name.
Yeah. Very, very creative, y'all. Very creative.
Yo, super, super creative. Like that's like, peak peak creativity level there for all the boys who.
I feel like so many hockey nicknames, you just add like a Y or like an IE at the end, and then it's like
Yeah, or like an S,
Yeah.
depending on like what it is. Right?
yeah,
like
like
Jamie
Yar.
is Dryzy for some reason, or like Dries, and it's like okay, that like kind of sounds fine, but like imagine like being on the ice and having to call it like out to get to like tell them to pass the puck, like that would.
I feel like it fits him now because he's like this awkward little child.
Yeah, but like when he's like 30,
Yeah,
are they gonna be calling him Dryzy on the ice?
Yeah, it's gonna be like,
yeah, it's a little sus.
yeah.
Other than that, like other than the trade talk, there hasn't actually been much trade talk this year, I don't think, because like everyone's kind of just preparing for like the expansion draft, right?
Oh, I know, yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys scared or like are you guys nervous? Like
I'm so scared because I feel like with certain teams, it's like you can kind of guess who they're gonna take. Then like there are teams where you're just like, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like kind of okay because well, the Sabres are a hot mess, and I think Seattle will probably want to be like pass. I'm not. I don't want to take anyone. But they're not allowed. But you know, it's
Honestly, I'm still kind of pissed off that Vegas is exempt.
yeah.
Annoys me because it's like Vegas was exempt and it was like, okay, Seattle's probably gonna take one of their goalies,
Yeah.
and then I don't have to worry about them taking one of like my other goalies that I really like.
Yeah, exactly. But like
Now I have that problem.
yeah, like why is Vegas exempt? So like why is the NHL just like trying to make them win all the time? Like, yo.
It's okay, it's because they're like new to the NHL. That's
and
why.
Yeah, and like I guess before Vegas, pre-Vegas, like expansion draft teams weren't like good. They really weren't good. Like
I don't think anyone thought Vegas was gonna be good.
yeah. I feel like year 2 even everyone was like, yeah, Vegas isn't gonna be good, right?
Yeah.
But apparently they are, and apparently they have cap issues and break their own players' jaws in warm up. Cause
Oh my gosh.
I have so many issues with Vegas. Like, I genuinely think Trevor Zegras put like a curse on like the Canadian World Juniors
No,
team.
he did.
No, he definitely like how so many of them been injured this year? Like it's not even funny.
Like half or something.
Injured or COVID, right? Bo got COVID, and then he got injured, and then he got COVID again, and then he got injured, and then yeah.
Hey, Dylan and Bo, twins. They got injured and they got COVID together.
Yeah, besties.
I know Jamie got injured too. I can't remember what it was.
His dental work.
Maybe?
Who is his dentist in Anaheim?
Oh my god.
Who is his dentist? I just like to talk. I just want to talk about what you did. And then Devin Levi had broken ribs, and he pretty much didn't play, I don't think, in the NCAA.
No, he got his broken ribs at the World Juniors. He played the gold medal with those. I'm just...
I was like, yeah. And then I don't think he played a lot after in the NCAA, I don't think.
No.
No, he must not.
And then Newhook got injured as soon as he got back to the NCAA.
Holloway had a broken thumb. Like,
I saw that happen live. Like it was like the semifinals and it's tied and it's going to overtime and they're like, Holloway is not on the bench for overtime for Wisconsin. I'm like,
that's kind of a mood though. Like seeing your favorite players go down like mid game is like the Kirby Doc injury.
Oh
my gosh.
I was on Tumblr at the time, and so I'm like talking with like my friend, and I'm just like spamming, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to like calm down, just calm down.
I think I cried like 3 times that night while waiting for a diagnosis. I talked to like 6 different people about is his wrist like actually broken or is his wrist like, can they bandage it so he can play? Like, I was really out here with the conspiracy theories.
Yeah. No, like, I cried when it first happened, and then it's like, the first period intermission, they're like replaying it and they're like talking about it and they're like crying again. And then it's like after the game and they're like updating us and then I cried. And then I like wait and then like I think a day or 2 days later you have like the picture of his wrist.
Oh, that was so
That
bad.
was awful. Like,
Yeah.
and in the World Juniors documentary too, like they showed the X-rays of like what it actually was supposed to look like, and it was disgusting. Oh my god! And he was like, "Yeah, I totally thought I could play." I'm like, bro,
Like that's the most
Like, do you see it?
thing. That's just the most athlete thing to say ever. It's like I'll be like, I can barely walk. I have blisters on both of my feet, but I can still go out and do stuff and totally not worsen the injury. Like,
totally. My wrist is completely dislocated to the point where I have to take my glove off because it hurts.
no. He said in an interview that when it like broke, he thought his stick. It was a stick.
Yeah,
Oh,
because he was like, yeah, the sounds like I thought it was my stick because of the sound, and I'm like, Kirby, you thought you could play on that. You thought you could play on that.
No, it's
Yeah.
and then no, but like, talking about like injuries, like Gooley got injured like his second game in Laval.
Yeah, and then wasn't he like in and out like because
Yeah, I don't think he played after that.
Yeah, like he was like kind of his season was like pretty much over after that. Like
Yeah.
he only played like a little. And then Jack Quinn apparently had like he had an ongoing injury from World Juniors training camp. He had an issue from training camp and he played the whole thing.
I feel like the injury kind of does explain a lot because I was kind of like, why is
Jack Quinn so bad? And why is he still being put on the first line?
Yeah, and I was so confused. And I was just like, not even just like he was put on the first line. The fact that it was like before the tournament, was like Jack Quinn is going to score so many goals for Canada, and then
scored two.
One of them was empty netter.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I think Cole Perfetti only scored 2 as well. It was like 1 or 2. But like,
he had that really nice one against, I think it was Russia.
Yeah, where he just kind of stood at the circle and sniped it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really pretty.
That was pretty. Yeah.
My takeaway from the Russia game was just like, Asterisks, please stop dropping your stick.
Please stop dropping your stick. Craig Button. Oh, it wasn't Craig. Who was it on the broadcast? Gord Miller on TSN was like, he dropped his stick again. Like it was horrible. Like, Askarov, we know you're good, but like if you want to actually be like Pecorine level good, or like whoever you're supposed to meant to like live up to, please stop doing stupid things like that. But yeah, I mean, like, World Juniors was so like sad. It was traumatizing. It was tough.
It was traumatizing.
It was
still thinking about it.
I still think about it every day.
I think about the fact that Owen Power wasn't allowed to go to camp because
Michigan.
Michigan. It's like I was like, Michigan, I love you guys, but like,
sorry, but Matty Berniers can go. But Matty Berniers can go. He can go. Yeah. He's allowed. But
I think it's because they said it's because of Canada camp was like so long.
Yeah, that's true.
But like, also, like, Wisconsin let Holloway go, and like Northeastern let Levi go. Like BC let like Newhook go.
But
like,
did you really need Owen Power that much? Like, did you really need him like that much?
Not gonna lie.
But wouldn't you need Matthew Beniers more? Wouldn't you need like?
No, because the thing is, like our D is Cam York, Owen Powers, and that's it. Like on offense, we've got actually no, because Bordello.
No. Yeah.
Bordello and Beecher were at that camp, but then Beecher got COVID, and then because Beecher and Bordello lived together, so then Bordello wasn't able to go. Like
explaining why Owen Power wasn't at camp. It was just it was a sad.
But then they were also like, it's because of school, and then I'm like, aren't all of your classes online?
Can you not do your classes while literally in a hotel room? Like, not doing anything?
Yeah, that's what Holloway did. That's what, like, I'm still really pissed at that.
Yeah, but you know what? He went to Worlds and then got more ice time than Braden Schneider. Which we all hated him for at the time. We all hated him for it at the time.
No, you guys hated him for it. I liked him because I was
It was bad.
And all of you guys, like, hated him so goddamn much.
We hated the ice time he was getting. We were like...
Sorry, Owen.
We were like, but Braden, but don't you see this nice, delectable man right here?
Yeah.
Braden Schneider? And also I, like, only kind of knew, like, a little bit about him at the time. I knew he was projected to go first. But also, he didn't show up at U18s, and I was like, why didn't he show up at U18s? Turns out it's because he wasn't, he was already 18 and he wasn't allowed.
Yeah, the late birthday, yeah. No, my favorite thing about the late birthday is, like, during the summer, when Michigan was, like, announcing, like, their incoming freshmen, he was, like, 17 at the time, right? So it was, like, age, 17, height, 6'6". I was like, excuse me, what?
Grow more, though. The fact that he could still grow more has me
He's
really...
like 218 pounds or something.
Every time someone mentions his height, I think of that picture where they're like all
they're all lined up together.
Yeah.
It's like short, slightly taller. It's like
it's like Michigan. They do like pictures per class. Like for each class, they have like a picture. And like I saw like the freshman picture. And my two takeaways were there are a lot of them. And why is Owen so tall?
Why is Owen
so tall? And it's because, like, that class is also, like, fairly short as well. So it's just, like...
Yeah, like... Yeah, I wouldn't say, like, yeah. I would just say, like, generally, like, Owen Power probably just towers over everyone. Apparently, him, Shane Wright, Connor McDavid, and Cole Perfetti are all training together in Toronto right now. And I have questions.
Oh.
I have questions. I have questions.
No, actually, wait. With, like, the Perfetti and Power training together, my first thinking is, like, Cole was supposed to go to Michigan.
Oh, yeah! I forgot about that. Have you seen the photo of him and Jack Hughes, and I think it was Alex Dubois? Yeah. No way we both know which photo it is.
I love that picture so much.
Yeah, man, like, Cole Perfetti. Yo.
No, I think about that every day. I think about the fact that Michigan could have had Cole Perfetti, Owen Power, Matty Beniers, Kent Johnson, Thomas Bordelot, and Brendan Brisson in the same class. And they didn't, because Fetch was like, I'm gonna go and play in the OHL.
And I'm gonna go tear it up in the OHL.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, like, it was a good choice for him because he got to meet Ryan Suzuki and all of his, like, NHL friends. Cardsy was there too! Cardsy!
Yes!
Yeah, you know, Cardsy, like, we were all like, you know, we think he's cute, but, like...
Yeah, it's not like, he's like a child, right? It's just like...
He's like kind of Jamie vibes. I need Jamie to be on Showbound. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
yeah.
They follow each other on Instagram. I'm just gonna say that.
They're friends. They're from Toronto.
They're friends.
And they're the same age. Therefore, they're friends.
Therefore, they are friends, and Jamie is... Ari and I are gonna manifest a Jamie episode. Same way we did with Braden.
Yeah.
Oh, with the braided one? That was
We
amazing.
were literally like, haha, how funny would it be if Feds got Braden on Showbound? And then it happened.
Yeah.
Jamie's neck.
The Showbound is iconic, though. They always provide.
Oh, yeah.
They always provide.
They really do.
Content.
Yeah, it's like that's like the one thing. It's like every week or so, I'd be like,
Yeah.
What are you gonna tell me on?
Yeah.
There's also this one podcast, the College Hockey Podcast, and they've had like Bento on, they've had like Bernard Docker on and stuff, and like I really like that one as well. They had Thomas Borderlow on. That one was really funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to get more into college hockey, but like also I can't watch it. Like like it's not on my TV because they're busy showing OHL games instead, guys. They're busy showing Shane Wright tearing up the league instead, guys.
Yeah, I convinced my parents to pay money for like a subscription. I don't know how I did it, but
that's a baller move. I'm not gonna lie. Me trying to convince my parents that I need TSN. Like, you know, all the international competitions get shown on there. How else am I gonna track my favorite?
Actually, I originally only got TSN because they were like the only channel that would show figure skating and like
Sportsnet do be lacking. Let's be
real. But Sportsnet will show a game of poker for 3 hours, but won't like broadcast the world figure skating championships. And it's like they have the rights to it, right? Because CBC has the right to Worlds. Therefore, Rogers. So, like, Sportsnet technically also has the right. Like, Sportsnet can show the World Championships, but they're like, no, we're gonna show a bunch of white men playing a card game instead.
Nah, you know, like, don't need that. We'll just let TSN be the interesting one with all the prospect talk. Like, their prospect, like, Mark Masters gives us all the good prospect content.
Yes. Like also, did you guys see Craig Button's like rankings, like final rankings?
I think I might have.
I don't agree with them. Actually, I think one time they came out with like their rankings and they misspelled Chaz Lucius's name, and I found that really funny. They called him Chad with Chaz. And I don't know. I found that really funny.
Okay.
I
pulled up his most recent rankings. I don't know if these are like his final rankings. But yeah.
He had Kent Johnson as like 13 or something, and I was like, that's a travesty.
That's low. Kent Johnson shouldn't be that low. Like
no, Kent Johnson is he's my favorite. But like with him, it's the Caulfield situation all over again.
Yeah. Because he's small, right?
Yeah, he's small and he's undersized, right? With Caulfield, everybody was like, oh yeah, he is the best goal scorer in the draft, without a doubt. But we're also not going to draft him and let him fall to 15. And then it's the same thing with Johnson. They're like, oh yeah, Johnson has by far the most pure skill in the entire draft. But he's small, so we're not going to draft him. Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Like, I remember watching that draft and not understanding why Caulfield dropped to 15. Like, I've no joke.
I know they're happy, but like, also, like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
It's like as a Habs fan, I'm ecstatic, but also like,
yeah, because I honestly thought he was like at least he would go like close to the top, like closer to the top 10, right? Yeah. Like, there's. Okay, no offense to Matthew Boldy, but okay, but like
I love him,
but also Cole,
So what are you doing?
I mean, turned out fine for them, but like also,
I love Matty though.
Yeah, Matty's sweet. He's nice. He's one of the 3 boys I've forgiven. from
Team USA.
All of the World Juniors is like because so many of them play for like college hockey teams, and not to brag or anything, but my teams are kind of good. The players on their team are kind of good, so like a bunch of them just ended up on the World Junior team, and it's like, no, I love you guys, but also
I need to hate you for right now.
Yeah.
But I've forgiven 3 of them.
It's like Spencer Knight plays for BC. Drew Helson plays for BC. You've got Boldy who plays for BC. And then you've got Caulfield who's at Wisconsin. You've got Turcotte who's at Wisconsin. And then you've got Sanderson and Clevens at North Dakota. And it's like, what do you want me to do?
Like, yeah.
And like Bernier plays at Michigan as well. And you've got York who's also at Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I only like a handful of Team USA guys. And
Um,
someone's all like, "Oh, you're
like I
American
said,
and going for Canada." I'm like, "Yeah."
I've forgiven exactly 3 of them. Cole
Who?
Caulfield, Matthew Boldy, and Spencer Knight. I think. Yeah.
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 I
Exactly.
think I still think if Spencer Knight wasn't in that, we would have won that game. Like I feel like because I feel like we sucked in the first half of the game. We kind of sucked in the first half of the game.
But like
But
that's
I feel like
kind of Team Canada's mood though. Like they sucked for like a while and then they got it and then
we were like, we're gonna be good. But like I feel like if Knight wasn't in net, we probably would have scored at least 2 goals.
if Bowen had just scored on that one short-handed chance.
I have like there's a picture of that, right? Like there's a picture of him hitting the post.
Yeah.
And it's just that picture is
Love how Bowen was like 2 weeks later in the documentary, he was like, "Yeah, I'm so embarrassed that I cried," and I'm like, "Okay, here I am."
Here I am, like 6
months later, not over it one bit. Oh yeah, I can't even imagine like Olympics. Oh my god, if Team Canada goes to the Olympics and loses,
no, I remember the 2018 Olympics. Like the NHL players didn't get to go, and I was just like, "What is this roster?
Yeah.
What is this?"
What do you guys think about like them not being like allowed, like technically not yet being allowed? I think it's stupid. Gary just wants his money. Gary.
Also, like, if you think about it in the long run, like, if you think about it in the long run, if NHL players go to the Olympics, it gets them more viewership, and then people who see them at the Olympics start watching the NHL. And in the long run, that's better for the game, right? Like in the long run, he's going to. It's probably better if he sends his players to the NHL, but he's like, no.
No thanks. You know, I'm just gonna sit here with my mountains of cash and try and get more. Gary.
Yeah. The only reason I was okay with the 2018 Olympics is because of my slight obsession with figure skating. And that kept me going. Yeah.
Like I feel like I just wasn't around like during like the 2018 like Olympic cycle, so I didn't really know and I didn't really care that much. But now it's like, yo, you can't deprive Connor McDavid of like another Olympics. You literally can't. Yeah.
Yeah, like, but also the thing is with the Olympics is like, I feel like before Canada was like it was always so much better than everyone. At least like at the senior level, right? Like with the juniors, just like right, because like the US had like the development program, so they were always kind of good. But like once we got to like the men's, it was like Canada was always so much better, and then now they're not, and it's like.
But also like they sent like their literal like J team to world championships, and somehow they still won. They sent like their J team. I'm like still reeling over that. Like how?
Yeah,
how? They lost 3 games in a row. I thought they were gonna not make it for the first time in like Team Canada history.
I don't think anyone did.
And everyone stopped caring after game 1.
They were one Germany Latvia overtime period away from not making it.
Yeah, like bro, it was so weird. It was so weird. But man, like, congrats to them. Fetz and Schneids got their golds that they deserved at World Juniors.
Oh, I mean, like, yeah. Fetz still has a chance.
Yeah, Fetz still can go next year. I don't know if he will. I don't know if he will. He might make the Jets out of camp.
Yeah, but if he doesn't, he's gonna go.
Yeah, probably.
Also, that's one of the reasons why I want Power to stay at Michigan. I want him to go to years. And also because I'm a Michigan fan, and RD kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Power will stay at Michigan, like, even if he gets drafted by, like, a team not named the Sabres, like, whichever way I think he's staying. And so, but, like, next year, if they don't win the gold medal, yo, like, what are they doing? Because they got Otter, they got Clarkey, they got Shane Wright, they got Bedard, they got Power. Clarkey and Power could be on the same line, the same D pair, guys. They can be on the same D pair. Imagine that.
Oh my gosh.
No.
like the Team Canada next year is gonna be stacked. Plus all the guys returning, right? Because you got Jamie Drysdale. Potentially, he might come back. He might not, depending on what Anaheim wants for his development.
No,
Anaheim sent him over. That's all I have to say.
Arizona and let him come.
Sorry?
It's like I want Anaheim to do what Arizona did, and then Arizona let Barrett Hayden come.
Yeah.
And then I want Anaheim to do that.
I love Jamie so
better.
much, but like I feel like he needs another year in junior. Like I kind of think he needs another year in junior for him to be like. I feel like he was a little bit rushed.
I feel like most defensemen do.
Yeah, I feel like he was a
No,
little
yeah,
bit
I
rushed
agree
this
with
year.
you.
Yeah, like
Because like when Trevor started playing, they were like, "Oh, we're not gonna like force our young players to come on and play," and then they literally put in Jamie like a few weeks later. I'm like, "What did you just say like last
what
week,
did
bro?"
you say about Trevor? Who has like an extra year, like another year, like compared to Jamie. So I think
Yeah,
next year.
because for Trevor, it took him like 2 years to
Because
play,
Trevor-
and Jamie they put him right away.
Yeah.
But like Trevor also played in the NCAA, and like I feel like NCAA players.
No, true.
I
Yeah.
think they kind of have an advantage over the CHL guys because of like the age thing and like
Yeah, like
people that are older.
like I feel like he needed that another year, but because he like couldn't have it in the OHL because the OHL kind of screwed everything up this year. Yeah, like he just couldn't have it. So I think he will go back next year. I think like I think he will go back next year, and I think Jamie Drysdale with the C. That'd
be fun.
That would be a mood. That would be
that would be
a thing that would happen. That would be a jersey I would immediately need in my closet. But yeah,
I don't have a Team Canada jersey. That should be illegal. I do not have a Team Canada jersey.
I don't have one either. I'm like waiting to ask my parents for one for Christmas. I think
I have one, and only because like I saw it before World Juniors, and then I'm like, oh, if it's meant to be, it'll be there after. And then I checked and it was. I'm like, oh, it's meant to be.
It's meant to be. But then they lost.
Our American, she has a Team Canada jersey.
It's literally one of the only jerseys I have aside from the Ducks jersey.
Well, yeah. I mean, you should get Drysdale jersey next. Like.
Oh, I know. I want one so bad.
If he's not traded, of course.
I got a Coffee jersey, and it came like right before the playoff. I was like, yes. And then Dom was like, we're not going to play him. Like, okay.
Sorry, who?
Wow.
You said who?
Caulfield. I got a Caulfield jersey.
Oh, yeah.
It got there like right before the playoff. Like,
Dom
and then
out
our
here
coach was like,
wilding.
Honestly, Dom confuses me so much. Like,
but he's head coach now. He can do what he wants, theoretically.
Yeah. But like, no, but like, I remember like all of like the fans that like all the people who made fans during the playoffs, they were like, Dom, what are you doing? And I'm just like, if only you guys were here during the regular season when this guy was like actively shuffling the lines in the middle of games. And it's like, there's a reason why it took us such a long time to clinch that goddamn playoff spot. Like,
but he's head coach now. Did you hear?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, man.
I get it. But also, like, I don't. But I get it.
I get it. Like, I mean, I feel like there were better options out there, but I mean, sure, just go with the guy who makes whack lineup decisions, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot has happened just like over the past few days in terms of like hockey, like trades and stuff.
Yeah, it
was
I don't
crazy.
even know.
I don't even know what's gonna happen before the draft. Like,
oh my god.
Other than like
no. The draft is the same day as the Olympics.
Oh my god.
I feel like so much is happening in July.
Yeah, everything is happening in July. I don't know why they rescheduled the playoffs for July. I'm gonna be really honest. Because wasn't it supposed to start in August last year? Like, it was supposed to start, like...
Yeah, it was supposed to start
in August, right? Like...
I think it was supposed to start like August 1st or something.
Yeah, and then they just rescheduled it and was like, whoop, July. There you go. And then the NHL was like, oh, we're going to give you everything in like a week. So the 21st is the expansion draft, and then the 23rd and the 24th
Oh, for real.
are
And
the
then,
draft.
and then you've also got like free agency.
Yeah, I think that's on the 28th. So it's literally like a week of
Oh
like,
my
Oh,
gosh.
I think, and we're also gonna do that during the Olympics.
yeah. And I think the Olympics run pretty much like that week and then into August, which is gonna
Yeah.
be crazy. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like the Olympics are so much to talk about too, because it's like all the
I,
athletes like who took a
yeah.
year, they're now like, and I wouldn't say like considered. Well, they're obviously older, but like I wouldn't say they're not considered favorites anymore. But like, there's definitely like a difference now that there's been
Yeah.
like a year taken off, because like
I feel
all the
like,
15-year-olds can come.
I feel like as a Canadian, I like don't really care about the Summer Olympics that much.
Yeah, I kind of care about Penny Alexiak, and that's
Yeah,
about it. That's
yeah,
about
That's
it.
literally it.
and
Yeah.
I care about the swimming and kind of the gymnastics.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
That's like about it, and I'll like watch whatever is on
Also, like
ABC.
Andre DeGrasse, and that's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's like I care about like three people, and those are
The
the three that are gonna win us medals.
yeah, the Winter Olympics are gonna be fun.
Yeah, Winter Olympics
I
are gonna be
need,
fun if they let NHL
no,
players go.
I need to get more of my friends into figure skating because the drama. Ah,
Ah.
like Russian figure skating in itself could be a soap opera. Like it's a soap opera there. It's just like you have this one like powerhouse coach that has questionable coaching techniques. Most of her skaters burn out at like 17.
No,
And
so it's just like gymnastics.
yeah, no, but it's like it's worse because like not only do they burn out, but also one of the reasons they burn out is because you've got so many like younger skaters every year coming in and like pushing them away, and then you've just got like 11-year-olds landing triple axels, and then you've got this new coach, Plushenko, who's like a figure skating legend, and he's like stealing, quote unquote, stealing skaters from the powerhouse coach, and then those skaters just ended up going back to the power. It's a soap opera.
It sounds like a mess. Honestly, I'm kind of glad we stick to hockey. Where it's like I'm kind of glad I mostly stick to hockey. Where it's just like, yeah, if this guy leaves, they're gonna get mad. But like, if he leaves and is nice about it, they're not gonna get mad.
no, like you've got like full on adult coaches arguing like middle school girls.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. You had like people leaking Instagram DMs and like it was.
This needs to be like a TV show. Why isn't this like a reality TV show?
It needs to be, yeah. That would be hilarious. I would pay so much money to see that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
No, but I feel like everybody has this like conception that like figure skaters are like super like sweet and innocent, and I'm just like,
I don't know. I feel like
no.
it's because of Tessa. It's because of Tessa and Scott. It's because
Yes.
Tessa and Scott were like the sweetest people for like a decade, and then people were like, "Oh, everyone's just like that." Well, really,
Yeah.
the sport has not been just
No.
like that. No.
No. Like me and my friends like from figure skating, like our like number one thing to like everything is like if you do something, we will take our blades that have toe picks on them and cut your neck off.
Yeah,
That's their first reply to
it's a
everything.
wild sport. Okay, so I guess we should wrap it up then, because we're coming up to an hour here. So I don't really have anything to wrap up. I feel like we covered a lot of what we want. Next week we'll talk more about prospects, because the
Yeah.
draft is it's
Ooh,
literally gonna be on
fun.
the Thursday or the Friday.
Yeah.
And we gotta talk about Otter and um
And then the Michigan trio.
yeah, the Don Mills trio. So great. Oh, honestly, if Shane was just born like a month earlier, like a couple months earlier.
Yeah, Shane and Otter have the same birthday.
Yeah, I was gonna say Shane and Otter have the same birthday.
And it's pretty close to mine as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, but we'll talk more about the draft next time, and if any more exciting things. I think protected lists for the expansion draft come out on the 17th, so we'll talk about that next time too. But that's it for us this week. So.